Imagine a device, it fits in your pocket, it has no smell, no taste, no needle, it doesn't look dangerous, but scientists are now comparing what it does to your brain, to something that does have a needle. In July 2025, researchers monitored 500 people's brainwaves, in real time while they scrolled through social media. Within minutes of opening Instagram or TikTok, participants' brain activity changed in patterns identical to gambling addiction. Not similar. Identical, and the most disturbing part of that study, not one of the 500 people felt anything unusual, they just thought they were scrolling. This is the story of what your phone is doing to your brain, right now while you watch this, and why almost nobody is talking about it seriously enough. In 2016, a former Google design ethicist named Tristan Harris walked into a meeting with his colleagues at Google and presented a 144-slide document. The title was, "A Call to Minimize Distraction and Respect Users' Attention." In it, he argued that the apps they were building, the notification systems, the infinite scroll, the like button, were not just features. They were psychological manipulation tools, designed, deliberately, to make it impossible for users to stop. Google ignored the presentation. Harris eventually quit. He later testified before the United States Congress, and the features he warned about in 2016, every single one of them is still in your phone right now, running, working, doing exactly what they were designed to do. The question is, what exactly are they doing? To understand what your phone is doing to you, you need to understand one chemical, dopamine. Most people think dopamine is the pleasure chemical. That's wrong. Dopamine is the anticipation chemical. It's what your brain releases when it expects a reward, not when it gets one. Think about how you feel the second before you open a notification. That flutter, that tiny excitement, that is dopamine, and your brain releases more of it in that moment than when you actually read the message. The checking is more addictive than the finding. Now here is what the engineers figured out: the more you repeat a dopamine-releasing behavior, the greater your tolerance becomes. If 2 TikTok videos spiked your dopamine the first time, it takes for the 10th time, and dozens the 100th, you need more. Always more, and the app is always ready to give it to you. Stanford psychiatrist Anna Lemke argues that compulsive tech use taps into the brain's reward circuitry in ways that mirror drug addiction. Over time those bursts desensitize reward pathways, and weaken the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for planning and self-control. Your phone is not just wasting your time, it is physically weakening the part of your brain that is supposed to help you stop using it. Here is where the real damage shows up in your daily life. The average person unlocks their phone 96 times per day, driven by habit loops, dopamine responses, and infinite scroll design, 96 times. That is once every 10 minutes of a waking day, and each one of those unlocks costs you more than you think. Researchers call it attention residue. Every time your focus is broken, even for 30 seconds, your brain cannot immediately return to deep concentration. It leaves a residue, a fragment of distraction that lingers. Scientists have coined a term for what chronic phone use creates in the brain: popcorn brain, a mind that shuffles rapidly between apps and notifications, fraying focus, reducing cognition, and making real-life tasks feel too slow or demanding. Popcorn brain, a brain that can only process things in short rapid bursts, a brain that finds a book unbearable, a brain that cannot sit through a conversation without reaching for the screen. When did you last read for an hour straight? When did you last sit in silence for 10 minutes, without reaching for something? If those questions make you uncomfortable, that discomfort is information. This is the part of the story that nobody talks about, because it's the hardest to admit. When your brain gets used to the level of stimulation your phone provides, real life starts to feel insufficient. When you constantly expose yourself to the high stimulation environment of social media and notifications, your brain adjusts by reducing its sensitivity to dopamine. Activities that used to bring you joy, reading a book, having a conversation, enjoying a meal, start to feel boring or unstimulating, because your brain has recalibrated to expect constant digital excitement. You can be sitting at a dinner table with people you love, and feel more drawn to your phone than to them. You can be on holiday somewhere beautiful, and feel the urge to document it rather than experience it. You can achieve something you worked months for, and feel nothing, until you post it and see how many people liked it. This is not weakness. This is not a generation that doesn't know how to appreciate things. This is neuroscience. Your brain's reward system has been recalibrated, and reality didn't get the update. Stanford professor Anna Lemke describes the brain like a seesaw, with pleasure on one side and pain on the other. the longer you spend with the seesaw tipped toward pleasure, the harder the come down. And the phone keeps the seesaw tipped, all day, every day, until baseline life feels like pain. In March 2026, Meta and YouTube went to court. Thousands of families sued them, arguing their platforms caused measurable psychological harm to their children. People who spent over 2 hours daily scrolling experienced a 35% decline in prefrontal cortex impulse control, the brain region responsible for rational decision-making. 35%, in the part of the brain that controls your ability to make good decisions. Phone overuse is now linked to increased anxiety, attention issues, sleep disruption, and rising rates of teen depression. Studies found that smartphone addiction reduces gray matter in the brain, in the same way as cocaine, stimulating the brain's central nervous system, in a manner similar to drug use. Cocaine, that comparison came from scientists, not from anti-tech activists, from peer-reviewed research published in medical journals, and yet, the phone is legal, available to children, designed to be as engaging as possible, and nobody is required to warn you. So what do you actually do with this information? Not use your phone less. That's not a strategy, that's a wish. Here is what the neuroscience says actually works. 1. Protect your first 30 minutes. Your brain wakes up in its calmest, most creative state. The moment you check your phone, you inject dopamine and cortisol into that state and it is gone for the rest of the morning. Those 30 minutes are worth more than any notification you will miss. 2. Remove the friction from real life, and add it to your phone. Delete the apps from your home screen, log out after every use, put your phone in another room during meals. You will not quit social media, but you will use it 60% less, just from the extra steps. 3. Replace the dopamine. Don't just remove it, exercise. Cold water, sunlight, real conversations, music you actually listen to, not scroll through. These produce natural dopamine that does not exhaust your receptors. 4. Take one day. Research shows that even a 72-hour break from your phone can change the way dopamine acts in your brain and boost mental clarity. 1 weekend. No social media. Most people who try it describe it as the first time in years they felt genuinely calm. You do not need to throw your phone away. You just need to understand the game being played and decide to play it on your terms. Every generation had something that changed human behavior before anyone understood the damage. Cigarettes, sugar, television. The warning always came too late. Your phone might be this generation's version of that. Now you know what's happening inside your brain. That knowledge alone makes you different from most people watching a screen right now. Subscribe for more videos like this, and tell me in the comments, how many hours a day do you spend on your phone?